Hi, John. How are you?
Awesome.
Good. Hey, our question this week comes from Jaime, but you know what? I'm actually very interested in this too. What do you think about internet-based funding? So there's Indiegogo and Kickstarter, I guess I would imagine.
Yep.
But his question is, should I try those platforms first, or is it better to start with more traditional sources like banks?
Right. Well, it's going to depend, obviously, on his venture. So if you have a piece of hardware or a consumer product that you can deliver to someone that participates in your Kickstarter program or Indiegogo, then I think it could be a great alternative. And there's actually been two here in Santa Barbara. Milo, which is a sensor that tells you how much your blood alcohol level is. So you're drinking, you can kind of check it out and make sure that you haven't had too much. And then Tracker, which is another very successful company here in town, they had one that didn't work, and then they sort of revamped and went out, I think, on Kickstarter and ended up having a very successful campaign. But that's not going to work for everyone. So if you're writing a book or you want to get it published, or if you're making a film or an album or something that a consumer can then have after it's completed, then that's a great alternative. If you have a company that the business model is proven, so think about a restaurant or something where nobody's going to question, will that work? And you have assets that can be collateralized, such as stoves and refrigerators, then the banks can be a good alternative. The bank is never going to loan you money for a startup. I mean, it's just not going to happen, right? They need to have assets they can attach so that if the loan isn't paid off, they can get some of their money back. So it just really depends on what Jaime's trying to do, what his venture is. But I want to talk, if we have a second, talk a little bit about what makes a good Kickstarter campaign or what makes a good Indiegogo campaign.
Love to hear.
So there was a guy about 2 years ago who right before the 4th of July put out on Kickstarter that he was raising money to make potato salad. Ended up getting like $75,000.
I remember this.
Yeah.
It was a national campaign, right?
Well, it went national.
And what did he do? I
can't
can't remember.
Viral.
Yeah.
So, he was going to make potato salad.
Yeah.
And he literally says, I need some money to make potato salad. 4th of July's coming up, and it's going to be awesome this weekend. And so,
Did he post his recipe? Or?
He posted a photo. No, it was
a photo.
Yeah. But here's what I took away from it. So, and not all of these are going to be applicable to every Kickstarter campaign, but the timing was perfect. He posted it the weekend before everyone's thinking about potato salad, right? It was funny. It was humorous. It was lighthearted. He maintained a nice level of engagement. So he responded to people's comments and he kept updating it. So then he was like, "Hey, I'll send you my recipe if you give me $100, and hey, I'll let you taste it if you give me 1,000 or whatever." He just kept throwing in all of these premiums for people to encourage people to give him more money. He kept it brief. I've seen so many of these where they want to put like their business plan on the internet. Like nobody's going to read it. Like, what are you doing? You're writing a book, and okay, I'll give you $20, but I'm not gonna spend an hour.
I'm not gonna read it.
But you know what I mean? It's got to be to the point, right?
Sure.
His campaign was very simple. I'm going to make potato salad. Like, obvious and easy. And then lastly, he did use some photos. He used some nice photos, stock photos of potato salad. So
I've only invested in one Kickstarter campaign, and that was Kenny Loggins.
Sure.
And his last album he produced, he did it, which I thought was interesting because it's so hard to get on a label now, right?
Sure.
And he offered all these different levels, and you could come in, and at the little level, you could get the album signed and a T-shirt, and then you had some kind of input on what the design was going to be. But at the higher level, you actually had a chance to go and sing on the recording.
Oh, wonderful.
And so, right?
That might have been bad for him if I had done that.
I have a feeling he had a whole lot of singers, so they would have drowned you out. But it was a brilliant idea, and he made it.
He had the engagement.
Yeah. With Jaime's questions, I guess it really does depend on what kind of business. But it sounds like you are sort of an advocate of those platforms.
Absolutely. It can work. And I would look at the potato salad one's a good example because it was unusual. But I would look at other campaigns that are offering a similar product that you are, and see why did they work, and then I might launch it on a different platform. So if you find one on Kickstarter that worked really well, kind of look at the dynamics of why you think it worked, and then maybe launch it on Indiegogo or one of the other ones.
That's a good idea.
It's almost like buying stock in a company before they're public, right? And how about the people that invented Kickstarter?
Right.
Where are they? Yeah,
that's a great idea. I mean, it was a need. I mean, it was a problem that was out there that needed solving, and they went out there and solved it.
Hey, John, thank you. And Jaime, we hope we answered your question. If you'd like to contact John and ask him a question, so easy to do so.
Yes, please send your questions to AskJohn@coworkradio.com.
And we'll see you next week, John.
All right, thank you.